Welcome back to a Windy City They Tan Watch, the channel where truth meets freedom, right here in the heart of Chicago. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest investigations, interviews, and insights. Your support fuels our fight for freedom and truth. So, let's dive into today's journey, armed with knowledge and the relentless spirit of the Windy City.
Hello everybody, WindyCityThetanWatch. It is April 17th, Wednesday. We're just after lunch, just after noon on Wednesday. If you're joining us on the replay, please go ahead and leave a comment, see if that's going to help the algorithm spread the news. And if you're here in the live, definitely hit that like button. I would definitely appreciate it. Not sure what we'll see today. It's overcast and it keeps on trying to drizzle. Not much, but we'll see. Low 60s, right at 60 today. Let me get over to the comments tab. Howdy, everybody. Hey, Annette. Absolutely. It's, life is like a box of chocolates. So we're coming up on Dearborn, looking down the street just to see if I can see the gold vests. Not seeing anybody down there. I'll walk past that Printers Row Park real quick. Can we get down there? If you're just joining and you're on the replay, I will chop the chapters up when I get home this afternoon. So if you're seeing it after Wednesday the 17th, you should be able to see chapters. Additionally, I put a survey out today, and again, I don't want to emphasize, I just want to say that it's an ability or a capability if you feel so inclined and if you have the means to. I am probably going to hit the monetization threshold soon, and I've got a poll out on the community post just to see, hey, what would you feel comfortable with? Give me some advice. We're a community together, and I'm willing to take the advice. I understand that I'm the final decision maker on it, but it's always helpful to have as much information as possible. I want everybody to understand that I have no expectation of doing member-only anything except for potentially the gifts. I'm really just allowing it to be a way for, if people want to be noticed for their contributions, great, that's an opportunity, but also it allows anybody to donate, but it doesn't give me any information about their financial status. So I don't have access to their name or access to any kind of banking information for them. Hello, Nana Boss. Ready for Saturday? Since Nana Boss is here on Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, if I'm correct, I think it's 4 Central. I'm going to have a little conversation with Nana Boss. Nana Boss. What else have we been noticing? Looks like they're still having a fun time down in Clearwater. Looked like they found a high perch, and the Sea Org members that were coming out of some building, I don't know which building they were coming out of, they were asked to sprint to the bus and then eventually asked to take a different route to the bus so they could stay behind trees because they could see the live stream that was showing the Sea Org members, which I just think it's a foolish element. The idea of, why are you hiding an activity? This is not a dangerous activity that people are walking to a bus. It's unlikely that you're going to be able to see faces in that space, but let's just say sometimes Scientology is a little bit stupid. And by a little bit, I mean incredibly. And by sometimes, I mean repeatedly. Hello, Marina. Welcome in. We're down on Polk. Remember, that's the south street on the block. I usually like to be here around between 12:30 and 12:40, because it's a shift change of some sort. So we're seeing an awful lot of staff members coming in and out at this time. I'm going to walk to the alley, but if I don't see any activity, then I'll come back out and we'll go up the street. Scientology stays in business in spite of themselves, not because of themselves. I have made contact with a couple of people who have been out of Scientology for a great deal of time. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much activity down here. The people that have been out, and I hope everybody understands this. I have no ill will or no animosity towards the members of Scientology. I believe that they went in with a good heart. They've been misled. The church's practices are really what I'm protesting against. And I think they're very deceptive. So these people that come in off the street and don't know anything about the church, all they see is the niceties of, oh, look at the cute little video. And, L. Ron was he was the first Eagle Scout and the first person to study nuclear physics. Somewhat doubtful that that's actually anywhere near true, but it's interesting. The lock is not locked right now, so the chain is hanging there. I'll open it just to see if they've got shredded docs in there. But I'm going to say that doesn't seem right. So their ship-shapeness is out. And I can still see the SPTV Nation, SPTV Foundation sticker there. Yeah, if you look at that, that's just all shredded documents. So they have the lock. They're not using the lock. They've shredded all the documents. Howdy, Carrie. Thanks for coming in. Okay, as I was saying, and it's loud on me, but I think that you guys are somewhat protected from this. That I have no animosity towards church members. And this person who's been out for quite some time, they actually got gains. The lower level elements of this church, they're helpful. It's a self-help organization. Now, none of it is novel. None of it is unique to L. Ron Hubbard. But there is a generator going nuts back here. I'm going to go mute for just 1 second. So, Way to Happiness, it's not a nefarious book. It's just a reasonable element of, how to keep anger in control, how to keep your spirits positive, how to keep just a positive attitude. There are some money elements, some communication elements. And they're easily found in 1,000 different sources. Chadwick Burke. And the person that is willing to communicate with me, they, again, have no ill will towards the people. Oh, look at that. We've got a body router out here. I don't think he sees me yet because I'm walking single file behind these two next people. So we've got two body routers. Don't worry, I'll come find you. It's a cult. It's just a money-making scheme. It's the Church of Scientology. That's all they gave you. They're going to ask you for money. They're going to keep on bringing you into these courses, and you're going to spend your life savings on it. It's a cult that says they do an awful lot of crimes like child abuse, elder abuse. This church, yeah. So it's called Scientology, if you look it up, or Dianetics, L. Ron Hubbard. He was a science fiction writer, and he decided to create a church. They built it in 1950. You'll go in for a personality test. They'll tell you things like, oh, it looks like you have anger management issues. And they'll sell you a book. And then when you're done with that process, they'll figure out another thing that's wrong with you. They call it a ruin, and they'll help you with that process. So it's just this continual money-making scheme that's got it. Look up Danny Masterson or Lisa McPherson. They won't tell you who they are. And they're going to tell you not to listen to me. But make up your own mind. There's a lot of information out there. I just gave the routers a little wave. Howdy, MD Media. So they've got Jessica there. They took photos of me while I was looking at the car. They're going to strategize a plan. Let's get the shades down. So they're going to strategize how they can get themselves back out of the church to start doing the body routing. I agree with that. And I'm trying to work with pet groomer or pup groomer on that. I've been a little bit lazy on that, and I should be more aggressive on that process. It's just that I've been trying to make so many other connections and editing of the videos that are going on here. So, morning, Dempsey. So we're going to get the shades down. This is a little bit long today. I don't feel 100%. And signs are another one. So when I'm out here with signs, it does slow people down. It makes them read, which is awesome. Yesterday, we saw a protester who is not a YouTuber, just a protester. And she came out with a sign, automaton, and what was the other? I can't remember the other word. But it caused people to slow down and read the sign. And when they'd read the sign, they'd ask questions. And it allowed me, just like I was able to talk to the person in the car, it allowed me to do that as well. So, again, they're strategizing. I think they're going to go to the back door. They'll kind of play with going to the back door, going to the front door. So this is just the little cross. I don't think the cross means anything. He's got the little cross on his lapel. It's going on there. We've got Jessica in there. Oh, thank you, Joy. Yeah, and that's fine. They can call the police. I've done nothing anywhere near illegal. How you doing, Chadwick? Got our friend Chadwick coming by. He's going to bypass the door first because they have new walking tech. They try to walk around me to leave the org, but you've got that going on. So we've got the blinds down. Now, during the day, I can't see all the way through. So what I'll tend to do is I'll go up to the top of the block. Care to share anything positive about the church? Oh, the yawn tech. I like that. So you're half a tone up on me, huh? Are you allowed to think on your own? And this is the things you think are good. Yep. That is good. Oh, not exactly shipshape. If you're going to do something, you might as well do it well. Isn't hiding low tone on the LRH scale? He loves being in Scientology, by the way. I'm going to head up to the top of the street. And again, I just kind of want to hem them in. We'll chat for a bit. I won't be near the front door. I'll kind of be moving back and forth between the alley and Clark Street, just to make sure that they're not coming out the front or the back door. Also, I don't think there was a security person there today. And again, no idea what to read into that. You know, have we been putting pressure on Blue Star Security? Maybe. Have we been putting pressure on the people who are out here? Maybe. And maybe it's just that they didn't have money, right? Because private security takes money. And the org just isn't going to be able to continually support that. They don't pull in the donations. And that's another reason I'm out here. I don't want them to be able to sell books, right? When they use these flyers, they're going to get people in there, and they're going to try to get them to buy a book, buy a course, take a course of study. I'm going to go across the street real quick first. Sorry. I do see a white long sleeve shirt at the far side, and the body router that we know best, he's just wearing his vest. He's not wearing his jacket. Just kind of wanted to get a wide view here. I can see the corner. I know on the camera you guys can't see it quite as well. You know what? I'll go ahead and put it on the Zoom for a little bit today. So that way you should have a little bit more range on that. Yeah, that's a true statement. Their power bills will go through the roof. I'm going to walk back towards the top of the alley, or the top of the street. That way I have line of sight on the top of the alley. Oh. Hey, Ellie, can you remind the curators not to leave comments up forever? Yeah, so I'm seeing no activity here. I have line of sight on the bottom of the street. Nice. And I would say, I think that $100 is probably a discount. Remembering that one of the stats is flyers through the door. And if I kind of make it so that they can't hand out flyers, they can't get flyers to the door. Now, flyers to the door is just part of it. I think there's 3 different stats. It might be communication or book sales and course sales, but there's some kind of conversion mechanism that is the next stat after you get flyers through the door. And if that makes sense, right? So they're handing out flyers to try to get people to come to the org, walk in, and see what it's all about. So this is just the restaurant that's trying to, right? So that's the restaurant supply truck. Howdy, over and out. Welcome in. You might see me just getting my steps in. Yesterday was fun. Chadwick came out and he was kind of being a bit of a crybaby with the police. to the protester that had a sign and said, hey, they won't let us bring our sign out. And it's just like that. It's like, well, your sign has business advertising on it. So they're opening the door. The guy that just closed the door, he's now opening the door. It might be they leave it open because they've got the speaker. Yeah, now he's closed it. This couple is kind of eyeing the church. So, as you saw when I came back onto the street, he did lift the blinds back up again. There was just a knock. Oh, it might have been a vibration. Now we're heading down to Polk Street, which is the south end of the street that the Cult of Scientology is on. Remember, their address is 650 South Clark. Kind of put it against the wall to just not frighten the neighborhood civilians. Across the street, we've got 717 South Clark. That is the Imprint Apartments. And the church seems to have people in there in studio apartments. So they've got a couple of studios in there with anywhere from 6 to 9 people. I think they have another residence that's 2 blocks behind this. I've seen a couple of the more veteran members walking a couple of blocks over, and then they'll head into a building that's, I've only known it for its gym that's there. Yeah, so this is the DJI mic, and the thing that I really like about it is, yes, I think it's got great, I don't know if it's noise canceling or sound isolation, which is incredible. But it's also rather comfortable, and it's got a great, the battery on it works out really well. And it helps me with regard to things like copyright strike. If I just have the phone, they blast music here, or if I'm hearing music elsewhere, that music will end up coming into the sound stream, and you're at the risk of a copyright strike at that point. Or there's a strike, and then there's a lower level of the strike that we've got there. I'm going to head across the street, see if that gives them any comfort that I'm not right there. So, Michael, I use the DJI 1, and the only reason is, and I haven't done any research on this, is that I had the DJI 1 first, and then people that had the DJI 2, they were complaining. I can't remember what the complaint, there was a very high precedence of a certain complaint. I don't know, I don't remember what that complaint was. I think if you search DJI Mic 2, you'd find it very quickly. And I don't know whether or not they've resolved that. So, and the DJI mic works fine, right? I get about, it's the receiver that is really battery constrained. The battery on the receiver will go for about 2 hours, and then I'll have to go to the iPhone, but it recharges very quickly. Yep, and there's always, almost every description has an Amazon link for the stuff that I'm using right now. So right now I'm using the DJI Osmo 6. Oh, we just saw, well, we didn't, I did. Jessica just went into the Urban Pantry here. I'm gonna kind of hang out on this side of the street just to see if they feel like they're comfortable enough to open stuff up again. They typically won't, right? they will open up the door every once in a while, and they're opening up the door so that they can play their music. And the music is probably has two intentions. One is it's a potential to try and get me the copy strike. So we just saw another member come out. One is to get me the copyright strike. The other one is just to make it difficult for publics or staff member who are entering to hear what I'm saying. So it's a way of conflating the sound so that what I'm saying doesn't come across clearly to them. Yeah, so DJI is the company that makes the drones. I will say that they've got some headwinds because it's a Chinese-made company. There are some questions about whether or not information goes back to servers in China in that space. The government won't allow people to use the DJI drone, won't allow governmentally funded agencies to use the DJI drone right now. And it's really a shame because it's way above class of all other drones. So drones are very helpful in things like search and rescue, and to be able to the police use it both for search and rescue as well as like sending lines or ropes across creeks where they can't get it to. So it's a low cost, low tech element to be able to use in situations where emergencies are occurring. Some of the drones, you can get some additional accessories on them, whether it be bright lights, spotlights, or speakers. So if there was somebody who was out in the wilderness, you could communicate to them over the speakers on the DJI. And then naturally, you can help navigate rescue members to wherever the stranded person might be. Yeah, it's really cool stuff. The other place where drones play have a big role is surveys and construction sites where it's so much easier to examine something, whether it's a telephone pole or a bridge or a building. You can examine it with the drone, and they've got incredible 4K capabilities on that process. Hey, Danny. The Saints go marching in. So hopefully you're getting some nap time in. Yeah, I did see that. Trashy got, I'm sorry, Pearl Snappy got some trash last night as well. And I love that the stats are crap, right? That's one of the things that, I know that you're not supposed to be prideful, but I feel like I am very much helping, along with all of the other protesters here in Chicago, to lower the stats of this organization. I want them to spend their budget on Sea Org staff as quickly as possible. The other day, so what I do a lot of times is when they'll hand out a flyer, I'll approach the person afterwards and I'll collect the flyer because they then no longer want that flyer. And Nancy asked if I ever brought them back to, Natalie asked if I ever brought them back to the org. And no, I want their printing costs to be sky high. I don't want to help them in any way, shape, or form. I passed them out to other protesters just so that they have an exemplar if they wanted to put it on their feeds. If you could, there is a poll on my community tab right now. And again, I don't want anybody to ever think that there will never be a members only element to this channel. But I want to see what's everybody's comfort level and looking for suggestions in regards to how I might help monetize. If you go to Amazon, you'll find that the equipment that we use isn't exactly free, and any help is always appreciated. I want to see if they tried to escape through the back end. Now, it's actually, sorry, where the org is positioned, they have to go way out of their way in order to avoid me on Harrison or Polk. They would either have to go all the way down to, I'm sorry, I said Roosevelt, I meant Harrison or Polk. They either have to go out the back, go underneath the train tracks, and then go all the way down to Roosevelt, or they've got to go behind the courthouse and behind the metro station to go all the way up to Congress Expressway or Ida B. Wells. Just taking a pause here real quick to see if I can see any of the gold blazers or the gold vests. And we're not seeing anything up the street here. It is fun to kind of command them to say, hey, go back inside. Hey, pull the shades down. Nice. Thanks for the update, kid. I have a sneaking suspicion that there's a residence in this building as well, because I've seen members come down here and I might be 10, 20 feet behind them. And by the time I come around the corner, they're not there. And these are agility hampered members. So people that are walking with additional walking device, walking canes or items like that. Now, something that would be interesting is that while OSA can probably watch my channel, and probably some of the members inside of the Chicago org can watch my channel, would they ever let these routers watch the channel? You know, would they trust them enough not to be swayed by any of the information? So I think in order for them to kind of help guide the body routers away from me, they've got to be using a phone connection with the body routing teams. I love that. Scientology is paying us to protest against them. I don't. So I think that there's a bunch of kids coming up the street right now. And I think they're from the British school. There's a little British school back here in the neighborhood behind us. I don't want to put them, I don't want to hold the camera steady on them. Go up for a second. The doors are not back open yet. I can see down there. So I'm going to just take a glance down the alley. If you ever want to just come out here and join me, and by the way, it is kind of fun to be out here and be the obstacle that's preventing them from being successful. I've had some incredibly enjoyable nights when I'm able to take back flyers or to keep them indoors. It's rather fun to know that they've paid an awful lot of money for this beautiful retail space and they keep the blinds shuttered all of the time, you know, losing any advantage they would have of a retail space. Yeah, I think the British, I've always been kind of surprised about the British school because there's several of them in Chicago. And it's like, are you teaching English as a second language to these people who have English? Now there's a staff member walking up the street right now. What time do we have? Yeah, so we should have been seeing shift changes by now. Kat, along with that, I think that early on, I don't know if it was the protest community or Scientologists would refer to me with the red coat as the red coat guy. And I took great offense to that. And it's like, hey, we beat the British. I don't want to be identified as a red coat. What are you looking for, SRA? I've got the zoom. I've got the far zoom on the camera right now. The person that was going up the street he just had a backpack on. So it was he had a white long sleeve shirt with a backpack. We're back up to the org. The only real highlight so far is that as I approach the org, we've got Chadwick coming back down the street. But as I approached the org, we saw the body routers. They were talking to a person parked in a car. I went and talked to the person parked in the car. I think that I dissuaded him, or at least I caused him to go ahead and do some research on this process to help him understand what the money is. Now, we should get a good shot of Chadwick coming down here. Mr. Tilty Head. By the way, we've caught him in so many lies, right? He's lied to the police. He's lied to me a couple of times on trying to get me away from the org, trying to tell me what the laws are. How you doing, Chadwick? Good day? How were those Delphi days? Class of 99. Now, what's really fun is that these people are rather engaging. Like if they're going to talk to a civilian or if they're going to talk to the police, bright, smiley, shining faces. And then, here come two more. I think this is NIL, but we've got a couple people coming back to the org right now. What was I saying about Chadwick? Is this Quelly again? Can somebody look up and see if this is Quelly Plaza? Yeah. Anything positive to share about the church? Are you okay that they're protecting child abusers? Yeah, so far, Chadwick has not really been very forthright in truly talking to anybody. They will tell their shore stories to the police. Something you'll notice, so this sign came up yesterday. Yeah, they will engage me, but very deceptively. So, hey, if you come down here, I'll give you an interview. It's like, well, let's have the interview right here. And yeah, he does lie. So he was telling people that, hey, you can't go in our trash can when he was out there guarding the trash can. Now, the first person that was tracking Trashy and SRA was a much younger person, and we've seen him a couple of times since in this space. And I like when I have my SLR out here because I get good headshots of them and I can start posting them on the website. So that taco sign is from Paisans next door, and they pay a permit to leave that sign out here. If you have advertising on a sign, you have to pay a permit. If you don't have advertising on a sign and you're out here for a 1A audit or a protest or anything of that nature, you're free to have any sign you want to out here. So there's nothing that they could have done about that sign. And I want you to know, so let's see here. You can see the light post in front of me, right? And I'm going to slowly scan to the left, which is to the door. So I'm now standing where that sign was, and I am facing precisely where that sign was. So anybody who came in and out of this org was able to read that sign. Now, kid, you might be new here. of the businesses on this street, Paisans is probably the most allied with Scientology. They allowed Scientology to put an extra camera on their roof on opening day so they get another point of view for the celebration. And they allow people to walk through their building so that they can get to the alley and then walk in the back door of Scientology. So some people who want to avoid there are people that want to avoid having to confront me. And again, I'm not being confrontational, I'm just asking questions. There will be people that want to avoid that. So they'll either be ushered in the back door or they'll go in Paisans and then go to the back. Well, they'll still go in the back door, but instead of having to go all the way up to the top of the street or the bottom of the street. Yeah, I agree with that. So that's city. Now, what I think I can do is put, I'm going to call it a real estate sign or a political sign, right? The ones that have those little metal prongs going downward. I should probably be able to put those in here. Now, I struggle to bring a sign down here. I think signs are very, very effective. But I need to be mobile so that I can chase the routing team. Or if I have to go to the back door to do something, I need to be mobile. So I don't want to have the burden of having to pull up the sign and put down the sign. And we saw, was it Austin or Clearwater, where MD Media was getting all of his signs stolen. And you know that they're going to do that. Which, by the way, that's actually a criminal action that they're taking when they steal that sign. They're going to claim they thought it was litter, but it's an actionable offense to steal those signs. Yeah. And those signs are really cheap to print, and they're also like you could maybe print 4 or 5 different signs and only get one of the property hangers and just keep on swapping them out. I want the idea of kind of like a flip card, right? Or a flip card of tables on that. Yeah, MD, I strongly encourage you. You have that great, it was either you that had the photo or who was out with you? I think Eric might have been out with you. That they got a good headshot of the person with the signs underneath their arms. I would definitely try to file a complaint against that. Yeah, I'll say, Dempsey, there's the sirens go off like crazy around here. There's a fire station nearby. I don't hear horns as much, but you will hear a screech. And if you didn't see the screech coming, it's like, oh, what the heck just happened there? So it will startle you. I'm going to go ahead and look at the back real quick. Now, kid, maybe if you talk nice to him, he can revoke that. So we've still got the restaurant supply truck here. So this guy is going to be helping Pat's Pizza at this end of the alley. It looks like he might be taking off. And there's a U-Haul truck at the far end of the alley. But that's probably for that residential building that's right there. When I came up, and we have to create a nickname for the ethnic person with the curly hair. Because I want to stop describing him as an ethnic person with curly hair. We can call him Larry, we can call him Fred, don't really care. But when I came up, he was out with a new female who I had not seen before, definitely not seen passing out flyers, but I hadn't seen before. And after I confronted the person that they passed the sign out to, or passed their flyer out to, they both went back to the org. They do that very consistently. They're either embarrassed or unwilling to pass out a flyer in front of me. If they believe in their church, they should be able to confront and shatter anything I'm saying. They're supposed to have awesome communication skills, right? But when they went back in, then we saw Jessica kind of strategizing with them about what they should be doing. I am a little bit stumped. Usually by this time, we should have seen a large number of org changing shift right now. A large number of members. Yeah. If they're Sea Org on loan. Otherwise, they're staff. And no public, which public, it's rare to see public during the day. Yep, 100%. I've given them every opportunity, and hopefully, if you've been watching, I'm not saying, "Hey, Jackalope, come here and tell me about your church." I'm offering, "Hey, I've got an audience here. They would love to know anything positive about your church," and nobody will say anything. I have had 2 people say everything, or something to the effect of everything, and it's, "Do you want to be more specific?" Because that's the old story when you ask a Scientologist, is how has Scientology helped you? And the answer will be things like, "It changed my life." Well, how did it change your life? Can you give us any specifics to help us understand how there is a correlation between you being in Scientology and having a changed life? Yeah. They just have to work in the shadows. Remember, I kind of go up whenever we got the college kids coming by. They don't need to be a part of this. They don't appreciate being on film all day or having their lives under a microscope. Let's see if I can see in there. So yeah, there's a little bit of a slat right there. You can see how dirty the windows are. Can't really see too much here. These two, these blinds are in really good shape. That middle blind's a little bit off, right? This one you can see all the way through to, you probably see in the reflection, but the L. Ron Hubbard book's very easily visible there. It's just after 1 o'clock now. I like that. You know what I would like is to figure out a way to do hanging signs. And I did love the, although I just, it's cost prohibitive right now, the backpack that Laura FM saw on Confidence Chris, where you can put LED imagery and words on the back. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, did it change your life positively or negatively? Yeah, I just thought it was really cool. Now, it'd be awesome at night, especially, right? In the day, I'd be curious to know, how well it stands up to daylight. Oh, and then MD, when you came in, you talked about the city. I love this city. And today we're overcast. It's been kind of playing with drizzling, never rain. So it's like it bothers my glasses, but nothing there. It's such an old city, right? The fire was awesome because it created a blank canvas for architects to just go crazy. Oftentimes I'll do sort of a Dan Walks LA as I exit my lives, or sometimes when I'm entering my lives. And I'm trying to start up a new channel that's very much like that, where I'll take you to different neighborhoods, show you some of the key factors or the key elements of it. We still have some good ethnic neighborhoods. Chinatown being the most monotone ethnic neighborhood. Then we've got Pilsen, which right now is a Hispanic or Spanish neighborhood, a Mexican neighborhood. That used to be a Polish neighborhood. You've got Ukrainian Village up, maybe 2 miles north. So Chicago, top to bottom, is about 8 miles, and its average width from side to side is probably 2 miles. Yeah, Devon is Little India or Little Delhi, kind of depending on who you're talking to. There's Hasidic neighborhoods. I don't know if there's concentrated Islamic or Muslim neighborhoods. There's some incredibly rich neighborhoods in Chicago. President Obama was down in Kenwood. Usually it's listed among the top 10 wealthiest zip codes. If you go north of the city, which is where a lot of these Publix are from. So when the Publix did their first donation or first round of fundraising, it was at a home in Wilmette on the lake. He's a very wealthy, high-powered attorney. Was it Randy Kretschmer? And boy, what was her name? She was the chief creative officer at Leo Burnett. And they were raising hundreds of thousands of dollars at that point in time. So that was 2005. There was another very large round in 2015. And at that point, that's when I'm starting to see Minu. We would have seen Minu's name in the trash he found. I don't know. I think that I might not have put a wish list up, and it's only because I didn't figure out a way. I don't have a post office box, and I didn't figure out a way to hide my address yet. So I'm sure one of the mods will help me with that. I just haven't really been aggressive on solving that problem. All right. What else do we have going on here today? Oh, when I first got here, we went through the alley as well. And in the alley, we saw that they still have the chain at the dumpster, but the chain is not locking the dumpster closed. The chain is just hanging off the side of the dumpster. And when I opened the dumpster, there was cardboard in there, but there was also clear plastic bags with crinkle cut, cross-cut shred. So they have acquired a shredder, and they seem to be shredding documents now, which then makes me wonder, okay, then why are you still locking it? Locking it becomes a bit of a burden because they have to unlock it before the disposal company comes in order to take their garbage. You know what? I need to get back. I've got a client meeting coming up. What I'd like to ask is if we could kind of just chat about, what are the things that are beneficial about the way that I'm doing these lives? I do have some panels coming up, so we'll see what goes on there. Earlier, you saw Nana Boss in here, and I've got an audit with her. I'm sorry, I've got an interview with her on April 20th, this Saturday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Should I be staying in front of the door? Should I be finding the routers? I want to do whatever I can to help make sure that no new people succumb to this church. So at this point, I'm going to walk off the block. We'll see a little bit of Printer's Row. If I see a router, I might spend a little bit of time there, but I'm kind of tight on schedule right now. If I see a router, we'll go ahead and try and thwart them for a bit. We're up to, again, Harrison. Clark is a throughway of Printer's Row. So if you come down Clark, you can basically go from, the top of the city down to the bottom of the city. You never have to get off of Clark. And that's the reason why it was so painful when Scientology opened up. Now, the next street over, Dearborn. Dearborn's a kind of busy street, but again, it dead ends or it T-intersects at the Dearborn station. So that's not a throughway. Anybody who's going down Dearborn eventually is going to have to make a left or right-hand decision to get out of that area. Yeah, I just feel ill-equipped to pull people out of the org. Now, I will say that just they're brainwashed through repetition. So there's a possibility that my repetitive asking them these questions, could make them think twice. But my real goal is to starve them from the recruiting end of the system. I don't think that I'm going to be able to drag people out of Scientology. If you're joining me, the building ahead of us is Roosevelt University. So that's one of the many college residences or student residences that are there. The building right next to the church / cult is a Columbia College location. Just up ahead of us on the right is Jones College Prep, which is a magnet school in Chicago. If we walk, I'm going to walk up Dearborn. So you're going to go past Gino's East for all you pizza fans. I'd have gotten it on film. It would have looked awesome.
I just called myself. Are you a tourist?
No. So, yeah,
That's cool.
just doing a little bit of travel vlog. I was over protesting the church.
Really? What happened?
The Church of Scientology is involved in a bunch of criminal activity, like elder abuse, child abuse, financial frauds. So, going over there and trying to help them understand that. Oops. Thank you. We're seeing the Psycho Police here. So we have a bicycle squad as well in the summertime. Which I always wonder, is that police RPF? Are there other lives out there that we can do a raid with? I know I make it hard on everybody that, do we want to watch a tour of the city or do we want to go raid over to the next channel? But if we can find another link, that would be great. Oh, you know what? I'll put in the community the Nona Boss link as well. I'll have to do it from the computer, though. As we're coming down the street here, you've got the Franklin building. And so Revolution is a Chicago brewery. That's the neon sign right there. And then also 312 is basically Goose Island. You've got the 312 Heart and the pizza. But this is Gino's East. If you like a deep dish pizza, and their deep dish is not thick because of bread, it's thick because of cheese. And kind of, they put an awful lot of sauce on there as well. I love that pizza, but it's not for everybody. I always love when people come to town and they're, oh, I'm going to have 4 or 5 slices of that. And it's like, you're going to have 1.5 slices and then you're going to cry because it's incredibly filling. I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and send it over there because I think that I love Nora's ability to educate. Nora is just stocked with knowledge. And thank you everybody who went over to Declare Dave last night. I thought that was a great session that he did on Lisa McPherson. Most Chicagoans actually like thin crust pizza, so it's a misnomer. it is a Chicago thing, but it's not the thing that Chicago people look for. Yep, agreed. Giordano's, the, darn it, Pizzeria Uno, Pizzeria Due. Darn it, there's another one. I can't remember. There's hundreds of deep dish pizza. Oh, sorry. I apologize. I had y'all on the ground. All right, let's head over to Nora and tell her I said hi. All right, I'm gonna shut down for now. I might be out this afternoon, but I think we're gonna get rain. I think I'll probably just prepare an actual studio session as well. And I want to see if I can do some interviews with Declared Dave. I love talking to him. So I appreciate everybody being here. If you can, make sure you fill out the poll that's in the community and head over to Nora's. Thanks.